But da 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 dum. Oh dear, Rose of Texas. Oh, I am so sorry about that awful noise. I've got to find a way to shut that part of this tablet off. Hopefully, it won't happen too often. Um, yeah, welcome. Denise Matteau here. Welcome, whoever, wherever, whenever you are. And yeah, politics, international wartime politics, has raised its ugly head in the quilting community. I just unsubbed from the Greenland Quilter because a few days ago, she kind of, I thought, why is she being so incredibly, dangerously irresponsible? This is a woman who, an American, white American, born and raised in the good old USA, living in Greenland, and married to a white man who appears by his accent to be an ordinary American. And she runs a pretty big quilt channel, a lot of live streaming and stuff, very pleasant, totally into quilting as far as I knew. But then all of a sudden, a few days ago, she did this really irresponsible thing. I thought she was just being stupid, of talking about problems on her husband's ship, naming, I don't think she named the ship he actually works on, but she named another ship that's owned by the same company. So she's putting all kinds of identifiable information out there. And we know what's going on with Greenland right now. It is a hot spot in international warfare politics. Okay? And I'm thinking, how the hell can anyone who's married to someone who, as far as we here in the quilting world know, is just a guy who's works on a ship, a fishing ship, from what she says. So probably a civilian, maybe merchant marine. I don't know how all that works, but he apparently is not Navy. And the fishing industry as such, I'm sure that every single fishing ship in the world has a total pastiche of every ethnic group in the world among its crew members. So I'm thinking, why is she putting out dangerous information the way she did? And I thought she was just being stupid, but no, she proved me wrong. Within 24 hours, she put up a left-wing, anti-American solidarity political posting for Greenland. Now, I'm not against the interests of the people of Greenland, but she's not one of them. She's a white American just like me, and so's her husband. They happen to live in Greenland. They're about as much part of the Greenland people as Elizabeth Warren's name is Pocahontas. Seriously. We can see what's going on here. This is not a time to be playing that kind of game with quilting ladies, because we don't generally talk politics. Well, we're supposed to be naive and stupid. No, I don't think so. I think most of the quilting world knows a lot more about politics than most of the non-quilting world. That's why we generally don't approach these topics. So a sneak attack in like that from a left-wing Democrat sitting over there in Greenland, solidarity, as if the issues involving Greenland have anything to do with any nation of people who own their own. They never owned that land. Greenland has been part of Denmark. Now, whatever the international politics are between the American government and the Danish government, The people of Greenland, as such, the ethnic group that speaks the Inuit language or dialect. I mean, I think of Inuit as being more Alaskan, but the whole Arctic Circle people. Yeah, those are real people. Just like the Sami and the Finnish people and the Estonian people, all those different ethnic groups around the Arctic Circle, they're real. But to suggest that they ran the oil industry in Greenland, and now all of a sudden the evil United States is coming along. You're trying to play us all for fools, Katie. And what you did, putting out all that information about your husband's job, you were playing us all for fools when you did that. Because all you did, at least as far as I'm concerned, all you did was cause me to watch and say, well, wait a minute. Let's see what she does and figure out if she's just an idiot or what. Well, now I guess maybe you're still an idiot. But playing us for idiots isn't going to work. That whole fight over the territorial, I don't know what to call it, governance of Greenland is about the oil, the shipping, the North Atlantic shipping routes. That's a fight with China. And maybe Russia as well. Although I'm inclined, frankly, not to see Russia as a threat, but more as a likely ally before we're done with this. I don't know. I'm no expert on politics, and I know enough to think maybe it's time to prep, pray, and stay out of the way. That's what most quilting people do, Katie. Prep and pray and stay out of the way. Because the fact is, you and your husband, you want to go on about colonial powers? Well, what are you doing in Greenland yourself? Because most of the quilting ladies are not sitting in somebody else's country, unless you want to pull up the whole thing of, well, I'm white and I'm in the United States, so I'm on land stolen from the Native Americans. Well, I want to tell you something. You're in the midst of stealing land from the native Greenlanders, who actually are not native to any nation. And most of them will probably be perfectly happy if the United States is able to hopefully peacefully take control of the shipping lanes. Believe me, do you really want your husband to work on a Chinese-owned fishing? If he doesn't already, I don't know. But do you really want to be enslaved to the Chinese? Because Greenland's not going, it never was independent. It never will be independent. And as far as taking sides in the war over the oil, well, you don't really have any choice in the matter, because wherever you sit, you look around. You're sitting in Greenland. You're a white, Florida-born apparently, or Florida-raised American, from what you've said. Definitely total American. Total Anglo. So's your husband, apparently. You're sitting in Greenland, deliberately trying to incite stuff. And I wonder, do your husband's crewmates know about all the information you put out on the... I mean, I hope this is one of those double and triple layered political psyop games where maybe the information you put out about your husband's job and ship was all fake. And maybe the whole time you were doing that, he's flipping burgers somewhere and laughing over the money some CIA handler is throwing at you guys. But I don't think so. I think he really does work on the ship, and I think you really did take an action that, even if he's part of your little political crap are his crewmates, is his captain. And don't pull the solidarity crap unless you're willing to get your white ass out of Greenland. Seriously, Katie, think about that. Solidarity. Maybe you ought to attend one of Elizabeth Warren's own powwows. Well, I guess that does it for me in the quilting community. We'll see what happens next. Denise Matteau, over and out.